This is the beloved red pepper sauce, but today we're tossing the factory bottle aside and making sriracha from scratch with fermentation, patience, and just the right amount of suffering. Because let's be real, you'll probably touch your eyes by accident. This just might be the best red hot sauce you can find. It's gonna go great with all kinds of dishes, and we're gonna jump right into it. Let's get started. So here's what you're gonna need. Fresh red chili peppers, something like Thai, Fresno, red jalapenos, whatever gets you fired up. We're gonna be using about 2 pounds of Fresnos. The traditional sriracha recipe uses red jalapenos, but I couldn't find any of these, and Fresno chilies are in season right now. So that's what we're going with. We've got some garlic. We're gonna be using 8 cloves, some salt. This is Diamond Crystal Kosher salt. This is the best stuff you can get on the market. Sugar, we've got about 2 tablespoons. Vinegar, we're just gonna use a little bit of this later on. We've got some water that we're also gonna use later on. And the last ingredient is the most important one, patience, because we're gonna be fermenting this bad boy. First, slice your chilies. Leave the seeds if you want the extra pain factor. Don't wear gloves if you're a psychopath. We're probably gonna leave the seeds in only 3 or 4 of these. I'm from the Midwest and I have some European heritage, so I can't handle insane amounts of heat like some of you guys can. Plus I got a wife and a small child. I wanna share some of this with them. I can't eat all of this by myself, so we'll de-seed most of these. We're just looking for a rough chop here, nothing crazy. Next, we'll smash and rough chop our 8 cloves of garlic. When we smash garlic, the garlic releases a compound called allicin, which is what gives garlic its signature delicious flavor. Next, we want to grab a food scale and put a bowl on top and zero it out. We'll add our peppers, garlic, 2 tablespoons of sugar, and about 3 ounces of water, and figure out the mass of all of this in grams. Now, get out a calculator and take the total grams and multiply it by 0.03. This is the amount of salt that we'll need to add in grams. The salt ratio is important here in order to make sure that we get appropriate, safe lacto-fermentation. So in our case, everything together is 853 grams. So 853 times 0.03 is roughly 26 grams. It's 25 something, but we're just gonna round up to 26. Now, we just wanna blend everything together until it's a smooth but slightly chunky paste. Now, we're gonna get this into a really clean jar so that it can ferment. I wanna talk a little bit about lacto-fermentation. Lacto-fermentation requires 3 things: vegetables, salt, and water. The vegetables provide the lactic acid which ferment the sugars in the ingredients. The salt creates an environment that's healthy for the lactic acid, but it suppresses the growth of bad bacteria. The water creates an anaerobic environment, and since we've blended everything together, this right here is an anaerobic environment. So if you have your vegetables, you have your correct salt ratio, and you have an anaerobic environment, you're gonna end up with healthy lacto-fermentation. We're also gonna put on our fermentation lid, link in the description below. This is a lid that keeps all the bad bacteria out, and the gas that's produced from fermentation can escape. If you were to just put a lid on tight, you might create a jar explosion as that gas builds up pressure on the inside. So these fermentation lids are key. We're gonna let this ferment at room temperature for 5 to 7 days. And yes, it will get funky. That's how you know it's working. We wanna stir daily to ensure that everything ferments evenly and enjoy the aroma, which will make your house smell kind of like a dragon's breath. So we're gonna set this off to a safe place to ferment at room temperature. I'm gonna plan on stirring this every single day, and I'll see you guys back in 5 to 7 days. All right guys, so it's been about 5 days now of fermentation. Now that we're all fermented, we're gonna blend this smooth with some distilled white vinegar. This is gonna help balance the flavors and give it that signature tang. So at this stage, you have the option of straining it into a saucepan and boiling it down to halt fermentation and reduce it to your preferred consistency. I believe this is what they do with commercial preparations. Now that step may prolong shelf life, but unfortunately it's gonna kill all the beneficial probiotic bacteria that you've just waited so long to develop. Word to the wise, if you choose to do this step and you don't have a vent over your stovetop like me, then you may wanna consider boiling it outside on the grill or something so you don't tear gas your family. Instead, I just like to pour it back into another clean jar, and then it's ready to store in the fridge. That way we keep all of the healthy probiotic bacteria that we've just worked so hard to achieve. And with time, that sauce is gonna continue to develop in the fridge. Now, we just gotta seal the lid, label it something dramatic, and store it in the fridge. I think this will probably last several months in the fridge, but I'm pretty sure I'm probably gonna eat all of this before I even have to worry about it expiring. Now it's time for the taste test. It's tangy, it's spicy, it's way better than store-bought. And there you have it, folks. Homemade sriracha. I've got a lot of ideas with this recipe. I'm thinking smoked wings with the sriracha buffalo sauce for this upcoming football season. Do yourself a favor, guys, and give this recipe a go. It's well worth the effort. It's less processed. It's gonna give you a better, healthier product by going through these steps. If you guys like this content and you find some value to it, please like the video below, subscribe to the channel, and comment below what you think of this recipe, or if you have any good ideas of ways that I can use this recipe for future videos. I'm all about blending that fire and fermentation. We've got a good fermented product here that we can get creative and use it in some good barbecue recipes. Let me know what you guys think. Drop a comment below. I'll see you guys for the next video. And that is how we make sriracha and fire and ferment. If you like this type of content and you want to see more of it, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and click on that little bell icon so you don't miss any new content. I love you guys, and stick around.